Hello everyone, today is Unit 2, Formative 2, Day 3. We've been doing some absolute values, but now we're going to have some absolute values with inequalities. Okay, so let's get started. Alright, let's take a look at inequalities. The first one here says that the absolute value of x is less than 3. Okay, so that means that x has to be less than 3 units from 0. So it could be at 1, it could be at 2, okay, because that's less than 3. Now, it can't be at 3 because it's almost to 3, but not quite. So we're going to have an open circle. So that means that I can be anywhere in here. Okay, but remember, less than 3 units, that's to the right. Now we need to look at it to the left. So at -1, we're less than 3 units. At -2, we're less than 3 units. And at -3, we're almost there, not quite. So this is all less than 3 units from 0. Okay. Now that graph should look a little familiar. This is an and statement. Okay. So now let's look at the two ways to write this. We have x is less than 3, which represented this side. Okay. Now let's write an inequality that represents the left side, which x is going to be greater than -3. Okay. If you notice, your first inequality is exactly like the original, but without the absolute value. And our second inequality, we flipped our inequality and we changed our number to negative. Okay. So that's going to be something that happens. This is an and statement. Okay. Let's look at the next one. This one is the absolute value of x is greater than 2. So that means that x has to be over 2 units away from 0. So here, this 1 is not 2 units. 2 is not, but we're going to start there. Okay. Now 3 is over 2 units away, 4 and 5. So this, is x is greater than 2. Okay, it's over 2 units. Now let's look at it from the left side. Okay, so we're coming back to 0. -1 is not 2 units from 0. -2 is not, but right after that is. Okay, so -3 is, -4 is, -5, and so on. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, so let's look at our two. The first inequality, the one that's on the right, is x is greater than 2. And again, look, it looks exactly like my original, without the absolute value. Okay. Now, my left side is x is less than -2. Okay. Now, this graph should look familiar too. This is an or statement. Okay. So something you need to remember. If it's a less than, it is an and statement. If it's a greater than, it is an or statement. Okay, you need to remember that. Right, it'll help you. All right, let's look. All right, so a plus 2 is less than or equal to 3. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing, but we can't start off with a number line, because they're absolute value. So we are going to rewrite the first inequality. Okay, again, remember from the last slide, the first equation looks exactly like the original, without the absolute value. The next one, we flip the inequality and we change the answer to a negative. Okay. All right, and now let's go ahead and solve these. Subtract 2, so I get a is less than or equal to 1, and a is greater than or equal to -5. Okay, so let's draw a number line. So we have -5 and we have 1. All right, so we know that, start at 1, a is less than or equal to, which goes this way. And then we have -5, a is greater than. Okay, so this is an and statement. All right, so it's shaded in between. Okay. So that's graphing an absolute value. Okay. Now you'll notice that if one is shaded, if one dot shaded, the other one's going to be. You're never going to have one shaded and one not on these. All right. Next one. Okay, same thing. So we're going to have 2x minus 3 is greater than 7. And now our second one, that's to the right. Now our one to the left is going to flip the inequality and change the sign to negative. All right, and let's solve both of them. All right. Okay, draw your number line. So we have -2 and we have 5. All right, they're both going to be open. Let's change color so you can see. All right, and x is greater than 5. X is less than -2. Okay, right, and that's an OR. So there's that inequality. All right, next one. Same rules apply with inequalities with equations and absolute value. You have to get it by itself. So I'm going to get this absolute value by itself. I'm going to subtract 6. So we have absolute value of x minus 2 is greater than or equal to 1. Okay. Now the absolute value is by itself. So this is what it looks like to the right of 0 and to the left of 0. Just flip the sign and change your answer to negative. Add 2. Okay, add 2. All right, number line. All right, they're both shaded. All right, x is greater than or equal to 3. X is less than or equal to 1. All right, that's it on graphing inequalities. You guys have a great day. I'll see you at school.